Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our short story series, Sister, Sister, Wife. In a quiet Mississippi town, faith runs deep, and so do the secrets. This is Sister, Sister, Wife, Chapter 1. He proposed, and she said no until. By all appearances, the Looper family was blessed. 3 children, one a baby, 2 wives, one husband, one house filled with soft music, warm food, and the kind of laughter that carries. Elizabeth sat on the porch swing, watching the children chase each other in the grass. Sabrina's braids bounced as she ran. Fred Jr. shouted like he was leading the army, and baby Angela was asleep on Veronica's bosom, wrapped snug in a wrap her auntie handmade from her granny's old skirt. Veronica was humming as usual. Elizabeth could hear her from the swing, relaxing. Inside, dinner was waiting on them: smoked turkey legs, rice, collard greens, and cornbread. This house was full of life, voices, music. The kitchen was clean, nothing was broken, and Elizabeth felt like something just wasn't right. Things had shifted. Fred had told her 2 nights ago after Wednesday's service. They were all sitting around the table. Baby Angela had just gone down. Fred looked at them the way he always did when he was about to say something big, calm, warm, and already convinced. Her name is Mary, he said, sitting down his glass. She's 22, from the Tupelo FFA branch. Good spirit, good gentle spirit, God-fearing. I think we should ask her into our family. Veronica didn't blink. She just smiled soft and said, "That's lovely." Elizabeth didn't say a word. She just blinked once, twice. Another wife? Well, they call it family covenant at Family First Assembly. Most folks on the outside of FFA don't understand it. They think it's, let's say, backwards, but inside FFA, it is heritage, obedience, order, protection, not polygamy, just divine structure, spiritual harmony. Fred was a provider. Veronica was patient. And Elizabeth, well, she used to be at peace. Until now. Fred had been her husband for 10 years. Veronica came into the house 2 years later, and somehow it worked. 2 women, 1 man, 3 kids, one of those a baby. They moved like a unit. Honestly, it worked. Their family worked, their home worked. It was not chaos. It was order. Elizabeth loved her family. Fred sat beside her on the swing the next night, passing her a glass of sweet tea. She is humble, he said. She just wants to visit, meet the children, meet you, Liz. She didn't say anything for a while. "You remember Pastor Bill?" she said quietly. Fred raised his head. "Of course I do." He was married to Wilma 22 years. Always said he believed in the word, but only had one wife. Fred nodded slowly. Wilma said no for years. And when she drowned, Elizabeth trailed off. Then the door opened, Fred finished. And now, look, Priscilla brought peace to his house. Raised Billy like he's her own. Even got the twins settled. Elizabeth drank some of her sweet tea. Fred reached for her hand. "You're my first wife," he said. "I'd never dishonor you. This is our decision together, as a family. I believe we're supposed to grow." She didn't say anything. Looking out at the tree line, the wind smelled like rain. Wilma Lonie, Bill's first wife, dead in still water at the Ross Barnett Reservoir. No investigation, no questions. Now Priscilla wears her rings. Elizabeth watched her walk across the sanctuary in Wilma's shawl with her hand on the pastor's back like she's always been there. Just pray on it, Fred said. I ain't making a move without your peace, Liz. You know that. She nodded. She's coming Friday, Fred said. The sun was going down. She kept her eyes on the yard. Fred Jr. was balancing on the old tree stump like it had roots deeper than they knew. His dad said his great-granddad cut that tree down before Fred Jr. was even thought about. And if I say no, she asked. Fred didn't push. He never does. Then we wait until your piece matches mine. They both took a breath. I said no, she whispered, but that was before I saw her picture. Pastor Bill Lonie preached legacy again this Sunday, said Solomon had wives and wisdom, and the two went hand in hand. Said when a man builds his house with prayer and vision, the Lord expands his tent. Everybody nodded, said amen, smiled like they were not standing in the shadow of a woman who drowned just 1 year ago today. Fred tilted his head the way he does and asked her, and now? Elizabeth did not look at him. She watched the land. She listened for something older than language. And then she said, now I say no until. Thank you for joining us on this journey at It's the Style. This short story has 4 chapters, so stay tuned for the next part. Subscribe and don't forget to hit that like button. It's free and it's the style.